Hi there. So what's been coming up a lot this week is this feeling of overwhelm, this feeling of just the littlest thing tipping us over the edge. There's a sense, I always like to think of it like we have buckets, we have stress buckets. And when those buckets fill up, they can overflow really, really easily. So we have an emotional stress bucket, we have a busyness stress bucket, we have a physical stress bucket, the body being under physical stress. When all of these buckets are nearing the top, they can tip and they can spill. So the littlest thing sets us off. So getting the kids out of the door makes us literally scream, dropping something on the floor sends us into tears. We've all been there. I certainly have been there quite recently. And I wanted to share a tap. I often tap with people around overwhelm, and often when they come to one-to-one sessions, we start in quite an overwhelmed place. That's obviously what gets you there. So I'm going to share a very simple tap for overwhelm in the moment. And usually we're connected with that feeling. So part of the tapping process, the tapping recipe, as it were, is that you are tuned into the feeling in the body. So let's start from there. So we're just tapping on the side of the hand. Just start to breathe in and draw the breath into the body. We want to be grounded. We want to take a moment to settle into that physical sense. I'm just tapping on the side of the hand here, very gently. 2 fingers, 3 fingers. Breathing in, even though I'm feeling overwhelmed, like I'm going to snap, like I want to scream, like I want to cry. I love and accept myself. And if that feels too much, I'm learning to love and accept where I am. Just tapping here, even though I'm recognizing that there's a bit of overwhelm going on. Just tapping there, noticing where it is in the body. I'm learning to love and accept myself. Learning to notice what's going on in my body. So just breathing now, closing the eyes, and while we're tapping here on this point, just notice where is it you're feeling that overwhelm. Try and take the brain out of it, work with the felt senses. And if it's not in the body, maybe you're sensing it outside the body. Just tune into what's going on, crown of the head, all of this overwhelm. This overwhelm in my body, in my chest, in my heart, in my stomach. Where are you feeling it? Say that name. Inside of the eye. Feeling really overwhelmed right now. This energy in my stomach, this sensation through my body. Just name where you can feel it. We're tapping on inside of the eye, this point here, outside of the eye. If it was a colour, what colour would the overwhelm be? Just answer without thinking too hard. Don't worry if nothing comes, even though I can feel this red overwhelm in my heart, rising in my chest, moving down my back and shoulders. Now you say your words. The best results are when you say your words, so interchange them under the eyes. I'm just noticing this overwhelm, and I'm willing to start letting it go. I'm able to maybe just pay a little attention and start letting this overwhelm go. Just doing some deep breaths as we tap under the eye, under the nose. I'm open to recognizing and maybe releasing some of this overwhelm. Right here, right now, I'm okay. Under the nose and now to the chin. All this overwhelm in my body. Feeling it in my chest and shoulders and stomach and back. Where are you feeling it? This red, blue, green overwhelm. Really describe how it feels in your body. Just take a moment to close the eyes and notice the feeling of the energy that it holds. Now give it a rating out of 10. So if 10's really extreme, 0 is nothing, where would it be for you now? Just notice. And then coming to the collarbone here, this place here, the collarbone, just tapping just under the collarbone here. Even though I'm feeling this level 8 overwhelm, level 7, say your level, I'm open to looking at it and showing it some love. I'm open to giving myself some space, some time, and maybe releasing a little of it. So we're working to get that number down just in this moment, so we're less connected to that energy, just tapping here. I appreciate that my stress buckets might be full right now. My emotions might be right up at the surface. So I'm just letting them drain a little. So just closing the eyes and just imagine maybe a few little holes at the bottom of those buckets. And that overwhelm can just start to drip away a little as we tap under the armpit. All of this overwhelm in my body. I'm open to releasing a little bit by bit, just noticing it, accepting that's where I am. Being kind to myself, wrist points, just tapping on the wrist. Maybe I'm overwhelmed quite a lot. Maybe I'm asking a lot of myself. Maybe I'm juggling a lot of things. All of this is okay. Just tapping and noticing. Just notice what color it is now, where it is in the body, just tapping through the fingers. This red overwhelm, blue overwhelm, say your color in my body. And maybe there's another word for it now. Is it overwhelm? Is it stress? Is it anxiety? Or is there an emotion that's maybe underneath it? Sadness, anger, worry. Just notice for now. Whatever's going on right here, right now, we're just tapping through, noticing it through the fingers. One finger at a time, or you can even tap them all together in this little triangle shape. Taking a deep breath, coming back to collarbone for a minute and exhale. See if you can release some of that feeling and maybe even close the eyes and imagine the color leaving through the breath. Inhale. Exhale some of that blue overwhelm, red overwhelm. And stop for a moment, just notice. How are you feeling now? What level is this feeling out of 10? What level is this in the body? Have you managed to let any of it go in this moment? Is there something come up, an emotion or a connection or a memory that is giving you a little hint about what's going on? We're going to do one more quick round without going into anything too specific. Even though I've noticed I can get overwhelmed, I can snap, I might want to cry or scream or shout. I'm working on loving and accepting myself and acknowledging I've got a lot going on, crown of the head, even though there's all this overwhelm. Perhaps I'm juggling too much, no time to rest, but that's okay. I'm just taking a moment just to tap through the eyes, just to tap, maybe release some of this overwhelm outside of the eye, just taking a nice breath through the nose. Slow and calm and out through the lips as we come under the eye, just tapping under the eye. Imagine some of that overwhelm dripping out of the bottom of the bucket through a little hole, just reducing some of that stress in the body right here, right now, onto the nose. Inhale and exhale into the chin. I'm open to letting go a little bit of this overwhelm. I'm open to showing myself a little bit of kindness onto the collarbones, just a little bit of kindness to myself, a little bit of understanding, like you might if somebody you loved was feeling overwhelmed and that you could see that they were at breaking point, just a little bit of understanding. It's okay, you're doing a lot and it's brilliant that you're noticing it right now, just tapping on the collarbone, under the arm. Wrist point, just using the breath nice and slow. One finger at a time. I'm open to releasing this overwhelm. Maybe at some point I'll explore some of the reasons and put some practice in place to reduce those buckets even further, those stress buckets through the fingers. I know that maybe I'm doing too much and expecting too much of myself, and that's the key sometimes. We think we can do it all, and it's really, really hard. So just forgiving ourselves for judging ourselves for that through the fingers. Okay, so just coming back, maybe hands on heart, maybe hands on belly, breathing in. Exhale any remaining overwhelm that's prepared to let go in this moment, and just notice where you are now. What level is that overwhelm now? Just check back in. And it may be you want to tap through again. So you can always watch this video again, or you can do the final round again, or you can just self-tap at home through the points. I'm Bec Milligan. It's been lovely to tap with you. I hope you found this useful. Please feel free to share if you did. Sign up to the newsletter for more tips and taps. And it's really nice to meet you. Reach out if you've got any questions.